Hello, everybody. Welcome to those who are seeking to understand the situation that we're in. Welcome. Those that already know, um, and, are part of keeping this hidden. Just keep looking at that, maybe. Um, so, my last video, I was talking about various things. I was just sort of breaking the ice to start sharing the information that I've come in contact with, or that I've discovered about COVID-19, all that kind of stuff. So I was talking about movies, and I'm going to give you a list again. I'm going to give you another list, a proper overall list of films, and I'm going to go through as many as I can in depth, like there's going to be, I'm going to do show you the 19s on generally a lot of films, and then I'm going to go into even like the release dates of films. So last night before I left, I was on the movie Enemy of the State with Gene Hackman and Will Smith. I think that's 1998 film. Let me make sure. Enemy of the State. (1998) film, yes. The different things in it. So there was so we are looking for the 19 is one part, and it's the structure of it as well, because there's a throughout the whole entire movie, there is a numbers that come up, so hours. So they always document the hours. And last night I was talking about the movie Felon, 2008 film that has Val Kilmer. I have to look at the other guy's actor's name. So Felon 2008 cast Stephen Dorff and Val Kilmer. There's other actors, but the main ones that are these ones, because these two are also in the same conspiracy that was released is a mini-series released in 2008 also. And what I'm bringing to your attention, those who are not aware of it and would like to be aware of it, the 13, the coincidence cannot be a coincidence that the cell they're in Felon is 13th cell, and obviously the significance of 13 is got to do with the 13 families that run the world kind of thing. It's kind of a signature to every production that they fund, i.e. the movies. And then I'm just gonna go from there because it's just put your attention. Just like with this movie Snake Eyes, how they put Charlie Kirk, a politician, Charlie Kirk gets shot in the neck. Charlie Kirkland gets shot in the neck in the movie on September 10th, right? And the movie's called Snake Eyes, and the coincidence that I'm not saying is a coincidence because it cannot be, that Charlie Kirk minus land. So after they've had this, there's also another movie I just remembered. It's not remembered, but there's a movie that clearly, if you look into it, shows a sort of like a secret thing where it shows the year that Israel was going to gain full control. And that movie, the name of the movie is, it's got Michael Keating in it and the guy from Godfather 2. Where it refers to the role as he's a psychopathic killer, Peter McCabe, in 1998. Okay, so they're helping me with basically that. So 1998, because all these movies are listed to like how they give me the information. So 1998, I didn't even have it written down. It just came to my mind because I'm sort of seeing pictures and images, how they show me images, which is how I'm going to keep going with this and reference them, of course. The 1998 movie called Desperate Measures, apparently. It's a movie about a guy he wants to donate his bone marrow. They want his bone marrow. Anyway, there's a part in the movie that I'm going to get to that is a computer system, and it shows there's a few different instances where there is I haven't found, because the movie that I was watching, I don't know if it's cut because there's different movies on the internet. I don't have these movies, so I only look at the internet so far, and I've got sort of films that I've got, but there's a very limited number of them. So most of the findings I have is coincidentally on the internet. If the movie is there, like it's full, sometimes it's a bit cut. And also I've been slowing down since it's not slowing down, but I've collected so many 19s that it's enough for anyone. 50 films I have listed, that someone, if they look through every single, even 10, which I only shown 10 to do, it's enough to show you that there is a conspiracy, that it's been a setup, and it's hard enough to get. So in this movie, 1998 thriller, there's a computer screen where there's numbers from like it's 0.080 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, to 26 to literally this year. Like 2000, I said 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So between 2011 and 2020, I sort of looked at the code. It's not a code. It doesn't, I'm not saying, like, I'm saying that they did it on purpose to map out. They didn't have 2011 or 2012, but I saw something on 23. It has a specific name, like a specific thing saying something, which if you don't understand it, if you don't understand the code of like when I was talking about the establishment of the countries in my last video, which I'll go over again, the whole thing of COVID-19, the letters. So I'm going to go over it like now, basically, first before I go into it. So COVID-19, the title is 5 letters, which has got to do with the 5th sign and referencing Jordan Maxwell. We're talking about the Saturn and how Saturn is worshipped by basically all 3 religions, the Jewish, Muslim, and the Christian. They're all the same. Along with, you got Venus and stuff like that, because Venus is, as I was telling you in my last video, the second planet, and it's also the second sign that I was saying. Venus, the second sign. So that's the ox, it's Venus, and that's the second planet, and that's the second sign in order. So it's rat, ox, tiger, etc. Right? So then you have the rat, ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, 5. So rat, 1, and then the monkey, 9. So rat, ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, horse, sheep, monkey. Right? So 9. Every 4 years there's an election in America. I was going off, that was the last thing I was saying. One of the last things. So that every election since 1792, or give or take a couple of years, has every 4 years since a monkey year, because the last one was like a monkey year or something. Yeah, it was a monkey year, but before that, 3 years before, it was a rooster year. So 250 years ago, 200, whatever that time is, how many years ago that was, it hasn't broken. The elections haven't been broken in America. In Israel, they're different. In Israel, there's a lot of different elections, but we're talking about how Israel was created and funded by people that live in America, mainly. As other people like Osho and other people have talked about, it's not really that secret thing. So there's no coincidence between why COVID-19, right? COVID, sea, dragon, and all the affinity signs. So the affinity signs are, why does the computer tell? So the affinity signs are rat, and then for every sign, its affinity sign is 4 ahead or 4 behind. So 4 behind the rat. So you go backwards from the rat is pig, is backwards. Pig, dog, rooster, monkey. See? And then you go forward from the rat, ox, rabbit. So rat, so ox, so it's ox, 4. Ox, rabbit, ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon. Dragon, snake, horse, sheep, monkey. So 4, 4, 4, right? That's with every sign. So these 3 signs are affinity. You can look it up. It's all over the place. Even with the other signs, the one it's not other, but the other month signs that they say, like rabbit is Pisces and Aquarius is Tiger, they still have the affinity. They tell you what the opposing signs are still. They can say, oh, this is good with that and that, but they say that the basic opposing sign is the same. So they tell you that Pisces opposing sign is Virgo. They say Aquarius opposing sign is Leo. They say that. That's what they say. And that's true. Even in the basic authentic one, the one that's not sort of hidden, which is I haven't seen. Like I see it everywhere, but like I've never seen this. I haven't really seen this much. Like anyone show the planets like that. So that's what got me to partly look into the whole thing. Then so every election since that 1792 to 2024, the last election, has been either a dragon, monkey, or rat year. COVID, 5 letters, dragon, 5th, right? Rat, ox, tiger. See? So it's the 5th sign, dragon, 5. Lord of the Rings. So that's why 2001, the year is released the same movie. Lord of the Rings was released in 2001, right? Lord of the Rings means Saturn because all the laws of Saturn, rings, earrings, crown. That's why the coronavirus, it means crown. Corona in Spanish means crown. And it was established, the Illuminati stuff was established in 1776 and stuff. That was in Spain, or from Spain. So I linked those things together and I just share that. Besides the fact that 19 stands for AI in abbreviation, it's A is the first letter and A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. So 9, A, I, A, I, A, A, I, A, I, right? I was talking about the number that I'll go into as well because it's in this movie clearly that I found, because it's in other movies. It's in another movie. I found it in 3 movies so far clearly. The National Treasure, Enemy of the State, and As Good as It Gets. And I was mentioning last night, As Good as It Gets, the scene where Helen Hunt goes to see Jack Nicholson and says, "I'll never sleep with you again." He gets up middle of the night afterwards, and it's 3:22, which is the number of the Skull and Bones Secret Society, which shows the abbreviation of COVID. The COVID ID AI is COV, because you see always the C, the COVID COV-19. So it's 319, which connects to, I was saying, a Hollow Man 2. The defeating him at the end of the movie, she says C19. That's the poison she gave. It's rat poison. And the fact that the rat year is Israel established, I think, well, I pretty much know that unless you research and you know it yourself or you study it, you're not going to know what they're talking about. But for some reason, they're doing that. For some reason, I don't know how to say it, but what in words. But the reason is you can think about what it is in your own word, not in your own words, but words that make what it is, what they're doing. And so 6004, which is 64, which what I said is Israel's letters turned to numbers, calculated together and added together becomes 64, which I was referencing in many movies. They put 64, like I said, a devil's advocate. He says 64 straight convictions. He goes, what a number. And what he means by that is that it's got to do with the I Ching. And the I Ching is based upon the computer system. So ones and zeros and stuff like that is yin, yang, yin, yang, yin, yang. And it becomes a code. And that's the base of the computer programming, was from that stuff. So in other essence, all the planets, everything, the energy, and all the energy of the planets play a part. And our bodies and everything we use the computer for. So everything has going into what that book, when I was reading, how many we only have, they talk about how many heartbeats we have left. We have a certain amount of heartbeats. As men, we only have a certain amount of ejaculations. Women have a certain amount of periods before we die. But that's the same with animals, because he talks about in his other book about the animal world. Trees, even the same way. Trees bear fruit, and it's they have to have a dormant stage where they recuperate, and moths, sort of can fly very far away, and then as soon as they breed or admit their seed, they usually die. Salmon, when they breed, when they start breeding, they die. Everything has its sort of different times. Of course, everyone doesn't just, some insects, are in a different sort of, not that different, but it's got to do with, they like noticing it, obviously, like with a moth, as soon as it does it, it dies, or a salmon, they don't mate until they get back. They live their whole life, and when they go mate, that's when they die. And there's like a mouse also that I saw many years ago on National Geographic who would have sex to death, just keep mating and mating and just die. Lions are always weaker during the mating season because they're always they're emitting their seed. And usually there's a few animals that only mate during a certain time, like spring. And then the rest of the year, they're not. They're just killing and eating and all that kind of stuff. And sleeping, like bears also, they sleep for a long time. So they're retaining, the males retain their seed, and then they're growing, and then they're growing stronger, and, yada yada. Some of that, basically. So connecting the dots. So she says C19 in Hollow Man 2. That's what injects him with. And the serum that gets him invisible is blue, and the serum that kills him is yellow. And like I said, I was talking about yellow because yellow is the color of the element, Earth element, which is 2019 is the peak Earth element. And I talk about the movie Drive. In the movie Drive, there's also, he places 19 in there. It's based upon when they met, the conversation in the movie Drive, 2011 Drive with, I don't know the other actor's name right now. I'm not going to look it up. But the main one, I'm seeing his face, but I can't see a name right now. Not Ryan. Ryan. It is Ryan. Sorry, it is Ryan. I was thinking Ryan Reynolds. I'm like, no. Ryan Reynolds? No, Ryan Gosling. So he's in that movie. That movie. The other guy, the guy that gets out of jail, the character that gets out of jail, he says, "Oh, I met her when she was 17." So I mentioned 17, and she says, "I know." No, he mentions 19 in the conversation. Just have a look. I've got it all on my Facebook. See, it was on the internet recently, and that they've taken it down, so I can't. I've got to look for the actual scene, which I don't know what it is. Right, drive. It's a scene where how they met. So I don't know if that's going to work. And the house number as well. I think her room number is 48. Which is, stands for 1948. I can't see the scene right now. It doesn't show it. If you can think about what the scene is. I got it written down, but anyway, he mentions the number 19 in that scene. So look at the scene where Standard is there. I think they're talking about. Yeah, they're talking about when he met the other actress and her son, how they met and stuff, had a child. Yeah. So that's where that 19 is, but we'll go to it's talking about the referencing to the American elections every 4 years, all the way up to thingy. And I was talking about conspiracy. So conspiracy 13 conspiracy film. How where the 19 is that the fact that the number 19 is shot by number 20, which happens to be a strange coincidence. And then she cuts off his number, which is 19. So that's where I saw the 19 in there. And besides for the fact of 13, and then there's other numbers. And there's also like actually, you know what? It's on my thing, but I don't think it will be there anymore because I think I posted the whole movie. But I can go through. I'll go through it. I've got a lot of posts on my Facebook page. Anyone who wants to look at that. And I just briefly watched Green Street Hooligans. I wasn't 100% watching. I was looking for the 19s, but I was eating and sort of doing other things and looking at other things. So I probably missed it. I definitely missed the 19. But I heard as I was just eating and looking down and looking at my papers, preparing for the next video, they mentioned Epstein at the end, which I posted just now. Epstein account, which is mentioned in other TV shows like CSI and stuff like that. It's actually the name Epstein is in like a book. So they do this. And the also got Bigfoot, Discovering Bigfoot. Todd Standing's documentary. Have a look at that. The movie Knowing, I was talking about that. I was talking about the 50 years. So we'll start. Oh yeah, I was talking about so I've got it posted, but you can look it up. The Opal card. So I put it like exactly how it is. It's not a coincidence that the same. It's almost exactly the same. Like it's got even like the fire is even on that side exactly. That's amazing. And even the earth is like the shadow of the picture. Look at the picture. Is like the shadow is there, like the earth. That's the earth. That's what the earth looks like. And you can see that one side is, even though it's ocean, it has a green tinge to it, and the other side has a blue tinge. Exactly. Like even if I turned it up, you can't. Any direction you go, the point is putting it in that direction. The blue, they could have done the other way, but the blue is on that same side, and the green is on that same side. So look at that, and then go look at the knowing cover, and look at the cover with the planet and the fire on one side. And I had done a picture. I haven't got the proof of it because I burnt the freaking thing. Not aware. I was obviously that's where the spirits came in and destroyed. Because I was not thinking that a simple picture with no shapes was important as much. It didn't have any message or anything I could use, which is a mistake, and which is what I'm sort of sharing with people, to not destroy any of your pictures, no matter what they are, no matter if it looks like a squiggle or something, as a reference to reading things and a reference to life experience. Like I'll go into that later, but the point is, this one is that I did a picture where I was a huge painting, massive, big painting, like this big, that thick, that tall, and way higher than that, like really like big. And something just made me want to paint all black. No, sorry. I did a circle. I had a table, a 3-legged table with 3 elephants, like an Indian table. And I just used it. I grabbed it, and just a big circle, and then I did one side. Literally, I painted the picture. The movie Knowing didn't even come out. This was before it was released and before I even saw. I didn't think about it. I had no thought. I swear, a lie detector for anything I'm saying in reference to all these things, I would pass thousands of times. This would never end. I definitely, that's the last thing I'd be saying. I could do a lie detector. Did I see this? Yes. And not only that, people see the lights with me, but I definitely saw that during the day and that during the night. And I'm not lying that I drew it before I saw it. So that's the key things here, that also it's about your experiences, because these things can be easily, I get it. I'm not saying you have to go believe that, but definitely find a way to just find those truths out. Anyway, so so I painted literally a this but it was the side. It wasn't like that. It wasn't below, but on the side, I painted on the side first. For where you were looking at me, I was painting it. It got fire on this side, blue on the top, and green on the bottom. So I did a spiral of green, a spiral of blue, with spiral of blue spiral, green spiral, and a flame burning on the side coming around, and then in the middle was a white line with a white light coming out. That's basically was red and yellow. Red, yellow. You can see the separation. Basically like this opal card, kind of like that. Like yellow was in one side more, but it was more like fire. But then there was like a dark red on the top, so like a darker red. And then I painted it, and then all of a sudden, once I did the black, so I did that first, and then I painted the black around, just black. I was like, and then all of a sudden, something was just like, stop. Like they didn't want me to paint anything more, and I was like, that's it. And that was it. I didn't have any feeling to paint anything more on that. I was like, what the hell does that mean? It's a big painting. The biggest painting I ever painted, actually. One of the biggest canvases I used. And I took a photo of it. I just don't know where the photo is. Yeah, it's somewhere, but I don't know. It's probably it's somewhere enrolled. It's an old photo, not a digital camera, so it's in actually the undeveloped film is somewhere. I know I didn't destroy it or throw it away. I think it's with my parents. It's definitely with my parents. It's always got to store it somewhere. So one day I'll be able to find it. Definitely I'll find it and I'll show you if somehow all of it doesn't get destroyed some mysterious way. But I know I'll find it. It'll be there. So I took a photo of it and then I burnt it. I cut it off the canvas and I burnt it. I regret. I'll tell you, never, ever, ever destroy your paintings. They may look dumb. It looks like nothing. I've even had like my mother would say, "Oh, why are you painting this stuff?" I'm like, I don't even know. Now I know why I'm painting it. I was trying to think about being like all these ideas of being an artist, but I didn't realize that I was an artist and that the art was for myself, for my awakening, for other people's awakening. I didn't realize that, obviously, but I blame sort of like, schools like Newtown High School and all these other art schools. They're all not really completely artistic to me, given that the fact that I never had any schooling and understanding about this kind of stuff. But that's just the way the system is anyway. So yeah, so I painted it anyway. So month or two later, long while after I painted it, I left it, just sat there. And it was a big oil painting. I used oil painting at that time. I was using oil paints, which takes long time to dry. It was like acrylic, dries very quickly, and it doesn't look that good with oil. It just stays alive. It stays exactly as it was when you painted it. It looks exactly the same texture and whatever that nice look was, it was done. So that's the one thing I like about, in terms of doing like artistic stuff and like colors and when they're stuck. That's amazing. Anyway, so there's a movie, like I said, 2009, the movie, the same year that I see this, and the same year that I meet and I go and see Eckhart twice. One in Sydney and then the other in Queensland with a 3-day retreat. So while I'm in Sydney, I see him and then I'm like, okay, I had this sort of, got the feel of it, what it was about. And then I got electrocuted and had a like near-death experience, had a almost wonderful sleep. But someone said not to go to sleep because they read the paper and said that if you fall asleep, you may not wake up. Because I was so tired, I didn't feel any pain, it didn't hurt. Like a long time holding the thing, got stuck on it, and then it just somehow got pulled off. And then I just got really tired. I had a sort of everything got slow motion. Like the person was talking, whoa, and I was like, what? And that was a feeling of like first time of kind of like basically like being on a drug or something, but no time I've ever been on any drug, and all the drugs I've done, never had this super. No, I must say that when I did cannabis the first time, few times, some weird things happened where someone recorded me and I never saw myself talking so fast. But when I was in front of them, it seemed like everything was quiet and silent and it was slow motion. So maybe there was something going on there. It's kind of the same way. But this one was really, really bad, like really slow. And that was when I had a moment where I've never left it, that feeling. And then it sped up after that, feeling of wobbling out of my body and like spiritually and stuff like that. Spirit wise, right? I've had a lot of astral travel things where I'm like seeing my family of different moments and matching it, like proving it in the morning, or seeing in the morning that what was there in the morning I had dreamt of because I had flown down there and looked downstairs and looked myself, and then I went back upstairs. Telling other people as well. Anyway, everyone, a lot of people are aware of this stuff. It's not like thingy, but so I'm watching this movie with my brother, his someone who's with him, and I was with someone else. I was with yeah, someone with me, and then the scene where so I got a deja vu of a dreaming of this moment where I'm watching this movie. It just came out. I've never seen it before. Um, movie The Knowing, and it scared me. The movie was scary, like just scary, yucky feeling to it. But at the same time, there was a few things that were a bit weird, like the foreshadows. And my mum, when she died and came back, she said she saw foreshadows, and I was like, that's a bit weird. And in that same year, I saw four lights, uh, and above me, and I'm like, what the hell? And then I saw that, and I drew a picture of that, not the four lights, but this. And later on, a few months later, so that gives you. They gave me time. I see that. I had a dream about a voice. So there's a voice of a voice on internet. So it's called the voice of Brilon. Someone was trying to get me to listen to it, and I just someone when they said to me, "This is what I was like." I wasn't even like interested in like I was interested, but a lot of the community I don't like the alien. I never liked it because it was always about abductions and mutilations and things, and I was like, I don't want to know. Like I just didn't want to hear it. I don't know why. It was maybe that was part of the help because I was like. Um, I didn't want to hear it. I just didn't like it. But I did like the idea of entities or extraterrestrials who actually want to help us. I was like, okay, that's nice. But again, to have evidence of that would be already life changing, and it has been to have this experience. So, as I'm watching the movie, knowing there's a scene where the one of the alien extraterrestrials in the movie, Nicolas Cage is chasing after. That's the scene what it looks like. And then he gets a flashlight, and then he opens his mouth, and the white light comes out of the actor's mouth. Obviously, yeah. And then I have a memory of I've seen this before, and I turn to my brother, and I look at my brother, and he's looking at me. And that was a weird moment because I had a couple of those with my brother moments watching a movie and just turning and so that stuffed me up and it made me freak out because I was like, I definitely dreamt this before. And I even said it, I think I said deja vu out loud. But of course, no one's, unless whatever. Unless it's your deja vu, you're not going to really. Possibly, I don't know. Could be, yeah. I just, yeah. So next day, I was talking to the person that I'd seen, and I I was explaining, trying to talking about all these different things I was thinking about, because I was thinking, oh, what's that mean? I dreamt about that. What does that mean? And the movie is freaky and all these different things. And then she had to go to the bathroom, so she went to the toilet, and then I went upstairs. So I was talking and freaking out, and then I was like, something was like, go watch the movie again. And I just went upstairs, and I was like, oh, watch the movie. I just was going up just to have a look at it, and then as I opened the DVD cover, I clicked on the DVD because I didn't actually put it in the DVD player at the house. My brother or someone else did. I didn't. They put it. I didn't put it in. And I would, if I had seen the cover of the DVD, I would have realized that it was exactly like what I painted in the big canvas. And then I would have had a different experience. I would have freaked out, and then I would have went, "Oh my god, I actually saw this." But this time, I had the. I think I brought the DVD home with me because I didn't look at that CD, and if I did, I didn't notice it. So I looked at it, clicked on it, and as soon as I clicked it out, I was like, that's what I painted. And the only difference between my painting was that the white light that was in the middle of my painting was in the DVD cover. The word knowing is actually on the planet. So we can see it on the internet, and you can see the planet and the fire and everything, which is one reference to what I was painting. Something was making me paint it. And then the white letters was the knowing. And it's got to do with when I do some more videos, I'll talk to you about like the elements. So like the white light is for the lungs. Okay, white is for the lungs in the Chinese five element sort of study stuff. White's for the lungs, white light. Red's for the heart. So fire, red light. Lungs, white light. Metal, fire. Earth, yellow. Kidneys, blue. Water. And liver, green. Green color. So, like I was saying, like I would just showing you, metal cuts wood. So the rabbit and the tiger have wood in their main element, where the monkey and the rooster has metal in their main element. So, starting off simply, people with metal in their energy somehow connects with controlling obviously to a degree the wood element mindset or mind or connection. So to describe it beyond that takes a bit of more words, but in general, in basic things, starting off, we have to just go like that. So the white light when I looked at my so the knack of discovering the emotional states or what was trying to warn me. And I was trying to warn other people. So take a look at that. Take a look at the, as I said, the opal card, and if you're not in Australia, you're not going to be able to look at it, but you can look at an opal card and see the same. Well, you can't do it upside down. It doesn't matter what you do. I'm just trying to make sure that someone can't, So what are you going to do? You can't turn it upside. You can't turn it that way. We look at that one. That's exactly the same. On each side doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is, why is there more of a red there? Why is it more? Why is it exactly? I'm actually holding it up against got the picture up, and it's exactly like this. And it actually looks like an eye too. It's got an eye, like a little eye. So yeah. Calculate the letters. Anyway. Yeah. Okay. So as I was explaining the movies, we'll go to the fact of was just recapping that the yellow color is the 2019 is a yellow earth, so yellow color, referencing also to a TV show that someone had shown me. It's called Utopia, that released in 2014. It's actually about vaccines, and they talk about how to kill people with vaccines. And that's got a yellow cover. It's with white letters with Utopia. The yellow is very specific to the fact of COVID-19. I was talking about the Snake Eyes movie. I didn't finish saying about Snake Eyes. A quick recap. Snake Eyes, Charlie Kirk Land gets shot. So Charlie Kirk's name with added land in it is shot in the movie by what they say is a Palestinian. When it isn't a Palestinian, he gets shot and it's not him. But it's like with the whole 9/11. 9/11, they said 19 hijackers. None of them is alive. So to say that 19 hijackers did it, it's very plausible that there was 19 people that they had killed beforehand and then staged the event, which is what other evidence has shown, that the way it's happened, the building can't collapse like that and there's other videos of explosives going off, and there's other things that people just sort of disregard and go. There was a CIA agent who, before he died, admitted to planting the bombs in Tower 7. He didn't plant the bombs in the other tower, in the two towers, but he knew other people doing it. But he planted in Tower 7. And looking at how they said, other people who are demolition experts have said that you can't set up a building that fast and demolish it perfectly, even Tower 7, in a matter of a couple of hours. That's not possible. So he said he killed Bob Marley, and he injected him in the foot with cancer and prevented him from finding a cure, which is no different to what they do to everyone else. So it's not like it's a singled out event. Even probably the cancer could have been cured by the cannabis itself, or just basically having a lot of apricot seeds or apple seeds is a cure to, if not most, cancers. Besides for garlic and stuff like that. But garlic's a bit harder for people to take, because they have a lot of issues with the smell and they're not sure, and it's it's hard to eat for some people, and a lot of propaganda about it and stuff like that it's poison and all these different things. People freak out because doctors say, it thins your blood and all this kind of stuff, and it's bad for whatever. but the other facts of the matter is that it's been used for thousands of years all over the world, where people use it. I use it. When I started using it, I never got sick. And I haven't. And then when I do get sick, it's because I'm also not having garlic, and I'm also training. I had training videos before. The training that I do, conditioning, is very, very hard and on the body. But there's more to that, because at the same time I haven't. Just again, I'm realizing how many videos I had, because I had all the explanations of, not explanations, but things to reference things, like I had a storyline of, because I started my YouTube video, my YouTube channel 3 years ago, so that was a year after I had snapped back my right shoulder into place, after years and years of conditioning and training and punching, hard objects, walls and poles and stuff like that in the park, in the street, and conditioning like elbows and on the wall and stuff like that, and back, chest, legs, sort of thing. Legs, I wasn't, again, I've learned my lesson. When you're conditioning your shins, don't use metal straight away. That's not smart. So you get problems there, but start off slow. Anyway, the dislocation. So I had an issue where I had tight the neck, and I couldn't. Basically, it got to the point where I just wanted to break my arm. If I could break it and go to hospital and fix it if it had to be fixed, because I couldn't do some exercises. Like I couldn't do. I never really did over back head thingy. I did try, but it just, how are you guys supposed to do it if this is not in place? So I've only recently started to have full movement. So I've still been in pain the last 3 years because of whatever damage I did do to my shoulder, and all the muscles and stuff like that surrounding had to adjust. And my back went out in the same year that I'd fixed my shoulder, because obviously my body was like, went into shock, and it connects to all the exercises I was doing, the weights I had, always constantly doing upright rows, and I tried to do overhead press, but I always had to click my shoulder in a certain position. I did push-ups, I did crawling, like crawl 3 or 4 blocks on my hands and knees, and just focus on trying to strengthen it. And I did get strength. I'm strong. I can do those things, but at the time it was more like very difficult. It's very difficult, but I'd still wanted to find a way to be able to try and get good enough. So yeah, it got so bad that I basically couldn't. Yeah, my jaw was always tight. The only time where it wasn't was when I was either I had to hit my head a lot. When I was hitting my head and conditioning my head and conditioning my jaw. That's the only time I felt a sense of relief, or when I was hitting it with something like an object. But then that's also hasn't been very it's been very difficult. So eventually had a sort of pocket where some guide or someone could help me amongst all the things that I was missing, or I was going to miss out on, or couldn't see. Something got me to get a single weight and lie down and just go back all the way. So I'm lying down, like horizontal, and pull my arm back. And then some voice was saying, "Just go." And I was like, "I'm gonna break it." And then they said, "Break it if you have to. Just go all the way. Pull it where you don't want to go." Because there was a point where it was like hurting, and I was scared that something was going to break. I just don't understand what it was, because it doesn't make sense that it was dislocated shoulder. Because how can you have a dislocated shoulder for so long? I was in pain for all that time. And my meditation was to sit there and to try and deal with it and feel the pulse out while I was trying to do the seam retention and bring up the energy in my spine, which was even worse because my spine was always tight. So it wasn't fun. It was a very shit many years. As sad as it was for other reasons I'm not going to right now, but it was very sad because of things I couldn't do, things I couldn't fulfill as fast as I wanted to. And yeah, very isolating feeling. So very like, yeah, anyway, we'll go into it another time. But the whole basic thing was made me pull it back, and I said, all right, let's. And at that time, I was so tired, I was so tense. I was waking up with my arms were so numb because I was constantly training to try and get that level, and actually hitting something and hitting would actually vibrate and make me feel better for like 5 seconds. At the same time, the pain afterwards was very intense. So just got used to it. I just accepted it. Um, so that moment that I said that, a big like that, little and this whole thing that shifted, like from here to like there, like funk, funk, like, like it was loud, and it was, and after many years since I broken my jaw, because after I broke my jaw, the tension was always there, constantly there. Like I never lost this tight jaw on my face. Like this was always hard. Even to this day, it's still hard. And I thought it was because when they operated on my jaw to fix it, that because they said they had to cut the muscle to get there. I thought that's the reason, and that's always going to be tight. But when I had snapped my shoulder out or did that thing, this tense in my neck and my this part and my upper back, neck, upper back, and jaw just went. And what can I say? It's I wish I wish like sometimes I dream and I even cry about the fact that I wish I had found this somehow earlier. Somehow I wish I had just the courage to just do it before. All I had to do, sometimes I'm thinking, oh, maybe all the training and I got it ready. No, I think, and then what was worse, because it's like, on one level, it's like, oh yeah, how good is that? You did it yourself. And usually you go to a chiropractor to put back a dislocated shoulder, to put back a shoulder. You did that. They lay you down and they put your arm in that position and they broke it that way. That's where they did it. They put your arm back. I thought it was usually a sort of like people do like pull, like they pull their arm or they shake it when it's down like this. But there was a put in some sort of dislocation of somewhere here. It was to lie the person down and then pull it up. So all I did was my own chiropractic thing where it was just go over it. Like it was hurting, like pulling it there, it hurt. And I had done so many in the park, I would hold myself out and extend myself across the equipment and like do like a and then just like sort of exercise that way and go like that, and like my arms on the pole and then my feet on the other pole, and then I'm like sort of trying to stretch, and that only made all of it, my muscles develop in a weird way. Even to this day, I've still got a pinch. It's still pinching here and there. It's taken hours and hours and hours to do, holding little weights and walking with little weights down the street and just keep, exercising the muscle because of years and years of, just nightmare. So, nightmare for someone like who wants to be like a an athlete or have some sort of show for it, So that was the sad part. But had to do the exercise anyway because there was nothing I couldn't. Anyway, so sat my shoulder out, and then that was when that was in 2022 in February, and then from then, this whole time, 4 years has been rehabilitation basically in stages and all that kind of all these kind of things. I'm just thinking out what I've trained as much as I did. If I didn't have that, I probably would have. But at the same time, I probably wouldn't have because I would have been more into art because when I did artworks, I felt my arm was annoying because it was kind of hurting. Even when I used to do climbing, I used to climb at Bondi Rocks with my friend. I couldn't climb. So I had this for many years. And I'm wondering if it was got to do with something as a child. And I fell out of a tree and landed on my back. And I don't know. I was at work a long time ago, when I was younger. And I lifted a sledgehammer to do that. And I hurt my back. And I think it was maybe that. I don't know. Or it was just always that way because I was always like once, I don't know. I'm not sure because I do have this bone is higher than that bone. Anyway, I won't talk about that anymore. I'm sick of this for some reason. And I was talking about it because I was referencing because I was just realizing, so all those videos are gone. So I've just been rehabilitating my body and training it. So back to the movie Knowing and the color yellow and stuff like that. I've just mentioned things that you can look up, Utopia and Snake Eyes. That's right. 2025 is a snake year. Charlie Kirk gets shot in 2025, a snake year, September 11. The movie Snake Eyes, September 10th. Movie Snake Eyes is September 10th. Charlie Kirk in real life was killed on September 10th. And here, when I mentioned the movie Heist with Gene Hackman, as I was referencing the same Heist is done in 2001. It was released in 2001. Gene Hackman, Sam Rockwell, and Danny DeVito. They're in the movie. There's other people in there. I just don't know their names very well. There's a black dude and a black guy and another guy. He was in Boogie Nights, I think. I remember him seeing in Boogie Nights. Mark Wahlberg. A couple of people. Anyway, the main thing is you can look up the Heist movie. So I looked up the release dates. So I found the 19 in there. It took me a lot of watching to watch. I had to watch that movie over and over again because I was like, it has to be in here, and they're like, yeah, it is. But I couldn't find. I could find it. It was just very difficult because I don't enjoy movies like I did before. So I don't watch. The reason why I'm watching a lot of movies is to find proof, a lot of it, because a lot of movies it's got to do with decoding them as much as possible, trying to find things as much as I can. To put in my book, to put in my story, or I had enough videos in my last YouTube videos, and I thought that was good enough, but they took all of them down. So that's why a couple of months it's been a bit tough, but that's the way it goes. A lot of people in history have gone through the same thing. They have everything taken away from them, and they just got to keep going. So yeah. So enemy of the state. We're on that one. I also had all these YouTube videos. I said in the last video that I had that was had heaps of them. Just gonna do it again. It's just so we'll do enemy of the state because I got the numbers here, right? So the first numbers. Damn it, why did I write that? I didn't write the reference for it. 1981 again equals 19. Yeah, but why didn't I? Yeah, let's see what film? Why didn't I write the freaking movie? Yellow suit baby in yellow is in and yellow phone. Yeah, what's the movie? Yeah, okay. 12 hit list. Yeah, what's the movie? Oh, I got it. This movie is a 2014 movie with yeah, okay. I got it. Yeah, thank you. Gotta write it down. All right, I can't just scorpion tattoo. I thought it was a spider, so scorpion tattoo. But I thought that was that movie, the other movie. Right. I think I jumped. What's the movie? It has to be here. I had to have listed it. They fucking write the movie down, please. All right, so just block off that. Enemy of the state is here. All right, I'm going to focus on enemy of the state now. All right, back. there. It's annoying because I have it scattered everywhere. Where's that list of the numbers? Because the first number is, it's not 12. Really, really not the best. Okay, here's the first one. The first numbers lead to 5. I wrote that down. Fuck. I'm not going to start because all the other things, but I'm not going to start until I have that one. Did I write it twice? I have it twice, but what the fuck? That's on the 12 Monkeys. Then there's Blade Runner. The 19, the main 19 is Sector 19 is when the Nexus 6 as it's funny because I calculated the letter the name Nexus 6, so NEXUS. So 14 plus 5 plus 24 plus 21 plus 19 equals 83. And then I plus 8 plus 3 together, and it's 11. And then I added the 6 from the 6, and that becomes 17. So 17 million plus 6 million, right? So like adding the 6 there. So I was just thinking how coincidental that is. The fact that, I was talking about the EL, 5 plus 12 equals 17. And that's the reason why they put that number in. It has nothing to do with the real number. It has something to do with just a system of tricks. Like I'm going to show you with the movie, basically. Every movie has that. So what you need to do is just find numbers in movies, or even if I don't, I'm just going to tell you a few. Look at movies and find license plates and calculate them together and find the coincidence. Because in the movie Heist, And something's happened to my mind tonight. For some reason I can't read. I can't read clearly. I feel fine, but I got good hunting. The first problem on the board has it in there. I've got a feeling right now that I had when I saw this. That's what's happening to me. I'm not feeling bad. I'm feeling extremely peaceful, and I like the feeling so much that it's causing me to feel. And I'm going to trust that this feeling is better to hold on to than trying to explain every single thing so fast. And actually, this is what I did. This is another example. This is actually the reverse of the picture I did. So this is actually how I painted. I painted this later. I painted this after, but it was only colors at first. So I started this, but this is the reverse backwards of what I did. And then I didn't notice that it was actually this is a very in order creation cycle. So even the colors of the elements. So if we go this direction, water feeds into wood, wood feeds into fire, red, and then fire goes into earth, earth goes into metal, metal goes into water. When he comes out of a hole, looks like a hole, like he's coming through, but he's got water. It's blue. And this, I did this before I found out that I was a water rabbit because I looked up. Well, I didn't look it up. My friend did. It was in Denmark. She looked it up. My best friend looked it up, and she best friends. She looked it up, and I thought I was a dragon. Like I said, like the 3rd of April. I always thought I was an Aries, and then she printed it off, and I was like, "Why is it saying Pisces for months?" She's like, "That's what I did. I put it in. I live your date of birth." Like, "Are you sure?" It's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, I didn't understand what was going on, and that's the first thing that started me trying to understand what happened. Why was I thinking I was an Aries when I wasn't? And my mum also had the experience. She said, "Oh, I'm a Gemini." I'm like, "No, you're not. With this thing, you're not a Gemini." And I knew that there was something strange about me because I didn't really feel like I was a dragon, even though some people thought, "Oh, you're very active." Like, yeah, that's because of the horse. It's the horse, and probably, Pisces has a strange, weird side that comes up. I don't know. That's you know maybe the rage. I don't know what to say. I don't know. Sometimes it acts like that. I don't know what it is, but it's different because even just as because it is that way, thinking about the idea of being a dragon was always very like fun or like protective. I felt protected. Like, I'm a dragon, and like whatever that everyone thinks a dragon, whatever. But when I found out I wasn't, actually, I have to admit, I was like upset. I was like, oh, I don't want to be a dragon. And then I was going through sort of a thing of what's that doing for me if I'm not a dragon, if I'm not an astrologer, why do I want to be? If I'm not that, then why do I want to be that? And what does it really mean? So anyway, I did this before. Um, Actually, a year before I drew this, I painted this, and then it turns out that that's what I am, a water rabbit, a water Pisces. So yeah, I added on to it a little bit, not very much. That was all basically the same, just nothing really. But yeah, I already said that. That's creation cycle. But the big painting was reversed, so it was like a planet, and it's weird because that's the moon, right? So my moon sign is Pisces rabbit, blue, water, and that was what I didn't know before. This is fire, like a fire horse, and that's like a horse more than a dragon, but it's so amazing to see it though, that I think what the point here is that getting it is better than explaining it. I mean, trying to talk about it is fine, but All right, there we go. So you look up the calculations of, I'm going to give you a line of we're in the enemy of the state right now. So enemy of the state, I'm going to go through a few things. Okay. So the first numbers calculate to 5. So it's a 3, I think it's a 30311, something like that in the beginning of the movie. Calculates to 5. So 0 plus 3 plus 1 plus 1 equals 5. So I write that down, 5. The next numbers, or the first numbers, is 1507. So that calculates to 13, right? Like the movie 1408, you look up to 1408 calculates to 13 for a reason, referencing the 13 families that control the world and stuff, and such and such. Excuse me. Also, the 13th letter is M, right? Which they the movie called Electricity, a 2006 released year movie, is there's the kid in it that's in there in the tavern, and he's reading the book, and he says, "What letter is this?" He says M, and I didn't realize what that meant, because Spain connecting to the Illuminati and stuff like that. So whatever, 13 families. The structure of every movie is very even in that movie, they mention the word Aragon. Like in Lord of the Rings, he plays the Viggo Morrison plays Morrison plays Aragon in Lord of the Rings. In this movie, at the end, around the end, then the people from the Inquisition ask to have him killed. He's in silence looking at the painting. And he says, "No, I don't want him," because it goes the silver mines in Aragon, and then everything goes quiet. There's no coincidence that that's a part of the structure. Because, like I was saying, 2001, Lord of the Rings, so it brings me back to the movie Knowing, because in the movie Knowing, the first letters that come out, so there's a 50-year thing. So in 1959, in the movie Knowing, they put this little girl writes on these papers and all these numbers. It gets taken out in 2009. In the movie, it's 2009, and in the real life, that's when the year they released, 2009. So they released it 2009, 50 years. Okay. Now, (1959) is the last pig Earth year. So between 1959 and 2019, there hasn't been another Earth pig year. There's been others. Like, for example, I'll give you an example. So this is a fire horse year, okay? The last time there was a fire horse year was 1966, okay? So there won't be one. Most like, but basically, in my life, I'll never see another one. I'll never see another horse here, a fire horse here. Which brings me to the whole idea of the four horsemen idea, because I was thinking about my life, and I'm born in 1987, right? When COVID 2020 happened, I was 33 years old. The same year Alexander died, same year Jesus died. And the fact that I said this in another video, this is why I'm sort of like, I thought I didn't have to repeat myself, but now I'm going to have to just not repeat. It's not repeating, but it's, in some ways, it's like they know in the movie Knowing that in real life, that's real, because that's what I'm going through. It doesn't matter in the movie Knowing, where if they stop the kid's writing something, he'll take the thing out of his hand and he'll start writing it with his fingers, and he'll ignore pain. So the whole idea is that even when I feel pain, it doesn't, like for 5 seconds, it's like, oh, I can go back and think, oh, why did it? No, it doesn't matter. They told me to do a video. I didn't think it was worth it, but I did it anyway. So it was their work to get me to the videos I did. I still posted on all those pages. It was up to them to try and see and post. I did get many views. I had 50 more views than I ever got when I just left it. Right? So I did get views. And the reason why they deleted my channel was because that was a smart way of me getting myself out there so people saw me. So there's people out there that they don't know where I am. They're probably going to find me again, hopefully, because they can just write my name in, because I've kept my name basic. I didn't write something special in different names, so I'm just my name. So now they can find me again. And I'll probably go and write on different people's pages again, but it's not as much. But just to have my name back there on there, and maybe find the people that I posted on before, was pretty difficult. But you know, even if I say some, you know, different things every time, ask a question or have a conversation, because it still doesn't make sense why. There's no evidence. There's no reason why. I was asking to have conversations. I wasn't arguing. I wasn't telling anyone off. I wasn't being aggressive. I was just basically saying exactly what I'm telling you now, and I got someone complained. That's not good enough. That's not fair. But again, this is not fair. This is not a fair situation. But I really wanted to know, and now I know. So the Kabbalists that I'm gonna, basically talk to eventually, because I want to talk to my friend who's connected to it. So I'm interested to see what's the situation, because I'm not stopping because of the situation. And I'm not gonna, what do I want to do? There's nothing else to do. So yeah, there's no doubts, can't be any doubts there. And I'm not going to be one of those people who just sit there and start saying bullshit that I wanted to believe from people who were saying, oh, these people are lying and we're telling the truth. So I'm not doing that. So in terms of these things, it's obvious. So that's why it's not even like, it's not that hard to uncover it. It's not like a deep uncovering. It's a simple thing that I'm done with everything else. I'm done with the entertainment. I'm done with distracting myself. And as simple as that, when you're done, it's like a saying in the Tao Te Ching, it keeps coming up too, different things. When you're sick of being sick, you'll be well. So it's kind of like the diet, when you don't want to be sick anymore, and you don't want to be psychologically fucked up and think in terms of, like it's testing it. It's a simple thing. The problem with the diet, it's not the problem with the diet, it's a psychological issue. That's all it is. It's about fears and traditional stuff and useless stuff that doesn't help anybody. So that's what I'm saying. Anyone who's dying of cancer, you can fix it by eating eating simpler. This whole idea of enjoying life and going, oh, you only live once, eat what you want. Eat what you want. You don't even know what you want to eat because you're not really eating what you want. A lot of things we eat, like sugar is not the issue. It's we've been mixing sugar, the level of how much you mix sugar with things. Because fruits are fine, but eating fruits, as I explained, eating fruits on top of meals, like when everyone everyone eats watermelon after a big meal, even after a meal, it'll fill you up. If you want to get full and not want to feel like eating anymore, just have heaps of watermelon afterwards, and then you'll feel full. And that's not a good thing because it ferments. So you sense, I don't want to eat anymore, but then your body is not getting all the nutrients because you get fermentation, you get indigestion, and then you have other issues. So no one ever really lives. So no one's living life really, and food's getting wasted in that way. So a lot of food gets wasted. So it's like UNICEF, when they're feeding all people, they also responsible for giving vaccines, and the COVID vaccine is number one. So it's the scam is so big that when they say someone else is scamming by talking about this stuff, it's so simple. It's so basic how they work. It's quite depressing. Suppose I will put a word out. So the first number is that one. The second number, I had a list of it. So it's 1507 is 13. So there's 13 4 times after that. And even coincidence, how is that coincidence? Remember the thing. She's talking, the reporter's talking in the state of enemy of the state, or back to enemy of the state. So the first number that calculates to 5, you watch the movie, it's the first number. The second one is 1507, 13. The second, which is, I think it's on the dock. We're back at the docks. Or we're at Pantalone's place. Pantalone, which is the Italian thing where Will Smith goes and talks to them. There's that number that's shown is 13. I just don't understand where the other page is, because I listed every single one. I had it listed. I look back, I was like, okay, they're all listed. No, I don't see it, or it's all on one page. The problem here is I listed it on my Facebook page, and it's in my book on the computer. It's not in here. I wrote it down on there, so that's why I'm going to go to my Facebook. And go down and here. All right, there we go. So let's click that on. Notice the 13s besides the 19s, but besides the first numbers. So yeah, 1130 hours equals 5. So COVID, it's 5 letters. But the Pintero Social Club, which is the second one, is 1426 hours equals 13. at 9 minutes and 42 seconds in the clip of my Facebook thing, but time on the video. The next is Occoquan Park, Maryland. 1507 hours equals 13. So 1 5 plus 1 plus 5 plus 7 equals 13 hours at 13 minutes and 58 seconds time. Note the woman talking in the scene as the car is pulled out of the water. Her mic and the news station she works for has 13 on the mic. Then before the first 19, third time, Dean's residence, Georgetown, 1705 hours comes up, 13 again. So that's 13, 13, 13. That's 3 13s, right? So 5 is the first number, calculates to 5. And then it's 13 3 times, right? 1, 2, no more. 2, 3. No, it's 3 times. So it's COV, reminds me of COV, right? COVID, 3 times. Then watch the screen. The kids are playing the game. The timer starts at 17 seconds, which is calculates to EL, which comes up. 17. Saturn the dragon, the fifth sign, right? It cuts at 0. Literally 19 is left on left. That's it. That's the last thing before it cuts. It's 17 seconds and quick numbers besides it, and then 18 and then 19. And then I always go off like the idea of, not the idea, but the basic thing that 18 or 81, anything with 1981 or 1918, or like in the movie Multiplicity with the big 19 behind him, and while he fires that guy, when the guy gets fired from the beginning, big 19 with the big R. So R is the 18th letter, and then you calculate 1 9. Literally 1 9 is 10, and then 1 and 8 is 9, and if it calculates, puts together 19. The 1 3 on each side of the screen, which is left, you got 13. So you got 13 there, and then 19 on the timer as the cuts. So as you're watching it, that's where they place the 19 there. Like there is more to it, but you will get started. Remember, and talk about Felon, the release same year, 13 Conspiracy, Felon there in cell 13, like in film 1408, equals 13 for a reason, 13 families that run the world, national. And the next number is National Security Agency at 0922 hours at 37 minutes and 58 seconds time equals 13. So it's back to 13 again. So that's the fourth 13 after 4 in a row. And then the sixth is Talmadge Hotel. And this is where they put the 19. So it's, so I go, what's that mean? 4, right? 4 times 13, right? What's 1 plus 3? It's 4. So you've got 4 13, 4 numbers that calculate 13. The beginning calculates to 5. So if you go back and look at it in a big way, which I've done, it's 5, 13, 13, 13, 13, which is 5 together with the 5 in the front. 5, right? Beginning 5, 1100 hours and 1130 hours. 1 plus 1 plus 3 plus 0 equals 5. The next one calculates 13, calculates 13, calculates 13, right? Then they put the 19 in there. You find the 19 with the kids. And then the next number is 13 again. That's 5. Then the next one at the towel with the T, the Talmud, so T, which is 20th letter, is T. So it's almost like showing you, like the Talmud and the Torah and the Talmud starts with a T. So 2020. Hotel, 17, 38 hours. 1 plus 7 is 8. 3 plus 8 is 11. It's 19. So then it's 5. And then that becomes 19. So it's COVID-19. Or this way. COVID-19. That can't be a coincidence, my friend, at all. 0. So once they've put those numbers there, I know that it's COVID-19 there, right? In a big secret way. And this is before 9/11. What's John Voight's, Andrew Jolie's father's name? Date of birth in the film? 9/11. He's born 9/11/40. And 1940 is a dragon year, a metal dragon year. The guy in the TV, when he gets home, after he gets home, literally after the kids are playing, the television's talking, the guy's talking on the television, he's talking about when buildings start blowing up, our priorities change. What's he talking about? Buildings blowing up. Like 9/11? This movie was released in 1998. What's he talking about? But like 1998 with Snake Eyes, what are they talking about? Charlie Kirk Land gets shot in the neck on September 10. Who's scamming? Am I scamming you by telling you this? Or is someone scamming us by covering it up? It's a very big question. I think you can find the answer very easily. So the strange next thing is, this is funny because I just realized it now. Realized that 5 times because I wasn't thinking about it. I was probably, but I didn't write it down. So it's constantly getting better and better. So 173 is 19 on the 6th. Hours count 5th from the 1st. Yeah, I was writing it, but I sort of got it because it was the 19th one. You can't beat that. You can't cover that up. So look at it. Got to retype that actually. The 5th from the 1st, 11:30 hours. Silverberg, Silverberg and Blake at the start. That's the 5, yeah. Or is it? Then 4 that add up to 13, and then 5 adds up to 19. Yeah, so 4 of them add up to 13. Oh, you're kidding me. Even worse. Even worse, because I've just realized, even as a deeper thing, like I said, 5, so it calculates to 5, and then there's 4 13s. So 5 plus 4 equals 9. And then on the 6th one, it's 19. So 9 plus 1 plus 9 equals 19. They do that. They do this. This is literally what they're doing. It can't be unconscious. No way it can be unconscious. Absolutely not a possibility. Because again, Osho was right when he said the Jews are the most calculated people in the world, and it stuck with me. And he wasn't against, he was like, it wasn't for any sort of slavery, which that's what every religion is. But he was, saying that that's the truth. The most calculated people in the world. And that's why I started going, okay, well, every number, every letter in movies have to be calculated. They can't be an accident. Not one number can be an accident, really. especially when they're showing you things that's none of it's an accident. I just don't understand how did they like. And the year released, that when a date's released, all these things aren't an accident. Nothing, but none of it. Fifth add up to 19. Strange thing is the next one. It goes to 11. Why is it that? So it was actually 4 numbers. So what did I miss? I didn't maybe type in the numbers. I missed. I typed it, but I didn't. What's the number? It was a typing error because my keyboard doesn't. 8, 9, 10. I think it's 3 1s and an 8. I'll fix that up. Yeah, it's 3 1s. I remember that. 3 1s and an 8, which equal 11. So 1, 1, 1, 8. So 8, 9, 10, 11. So so then I was wondering what's the code of that? What's after that? Because the I've got here. The next two, and then he also says chapter 11. I'm going to kick them into chapter 11. And then the residents, the next two, Reynolds, is 13 again. So it goes the Reynolds residence, 2200 hours and 36 hours. 2236 hours equals 13 again. The dean's residence after that is 0715 hours equals 13 again. The other one equals 13. 2636 equals 13. And then it says 2 again. So it goes 11 and back to 13. Keep in mind the date of birth of Reynolds is 9/11/40 in this film, just before film is before 9/11 Mossad job. 19 hijackers were told. 19 years before COVID. So 2001 to 2020 is 19 years. Plus the fact of they're saying that they found the virus in 2019. Right? In China. So then the references to everything astrological history of China. It's not like they found that it wasn't first found in other countries. They didn't say it was in, so they're referencing. So you can just think, okay, calculate that, China, all the astrology, all that kind of stuff. And it's all the same. It's not a Chinese thing. It's everywhere. It's all over. Even I was talking to someone who's says that they're Muslim. He showed me a thing and it has 8 forces. And I said, did you know that what the 8 points found? He's like, no. A lot of people don't know. A lot of people from Iraq, even if they're in, soldiers, army, it doesn't matter. They don't. A lot of people don't know what it is. It's like they got the 8-pointed stuff, 8-pointed stars, and do you know what that means? And he's like, no, I don't. It's 8 forces. It's 8. Like in Chinese, and like that's why the swastika is 8. The 8 forces. It has nothing to do with hating Jews. It's got to do with a symbol that Jews have conditioned people to be afraid of, even though it's not something you should be afraid of. But the fact of the conditioning here. So it's like neither side wants us to be wise or intelligent, which is why Osho always made sense. It's like no one wants you to be intelligent. They may seem like they want freedom, and they don't want freedom. They want slavery. Every side wants slavery in this way. That's why when I listen to these people talk on Zionist channels, I'm like, I can't go with you. I can't. Everyone references and sort of hits on those things. What about World War II and the Nazis, and they did this and they did that, and it's like always like nothing has got to do with. Like don't talk about art, don't talk about Jews, don't talk about the religion even. Don't talk about the design, basically. But it doesn't make sense because I'm not talking about it and going, oh, well, let's give it all to the Islam. It's all the same to me. It's all part of the same box, which is when I realized that's what the setup is. These people that run the world they like religion. Religion in this way is the greatest tool for slavery in that way. And then they've also have allowed people to prevent someone from being religion is also part of the slavery, because you got to identify what is religion, what is being religious, and what is being fake religious or just being lost, like that, something like that. But so I'll finish that was really, I'm still blown away about what I found, because that was nice, like the 5 and then the 4 13s and then a 19. And it's like I missed the point. There was a 5 19. Yeah, and then we're not done yet. We're not done. So it's 5, 13, 13, 13, 13, 19, 11, and then 13 again, 13 again, 13 again. So 3 13s. $10, $20, $30, $40, $49, $52. I'm just calculating all like the 52, 53, 54, 57, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's something about that, because then that's a strange coincidence that 13, 13, 13, 13 is 52. Well, correct quickly. 49, 50, 52, 45, 6, 57. So all of that together, 5 plus 13 plus 13 plus 13 plus 13 equals 57. 5 plus 7 is 12. So that's 12 with that side, and then we hit the 19. So I calculate 19 and 11, which strangely enough, you can go 9, 11. You can cut the 19 in half, which would mean like even cutting down the middle. And like I said, cutting down the middle of the 19 itself, where America's established in 1776, which is a monkey year, the 9th, right? So reading the title backwards, COVID title backwards, like Hebrew and Arabic, right, is read backwards and read backwards. That's also, I've read that. I've got to say that before we continue. D, like I said yesterday, D, like Godzilla, that big, the symbol that's on my arm here. This one here is the D letter. That's the 4th letter in the alphabet, and D is like 400 years in slavery in Egypt story. It's not real. But 40 years in desert, also not real, which was told to me by someone who studies Kabbalah. So they said that story is not real, and that all was meant to code, right? And I thought they were telling everyone that. I thought that was a normal thing until I realized it wasn't. It was just, yeah. So it's important that everyone sort of realizes that that's not a historical fact, which is part of the scam. So, like say it, like it's good to say it. Like, why keep that? I thought that was part of the thing. Anyway, that's when I couldn't think, even though I still can't. I'm thinking, I couldn't absorb the whatever. Anyway, so 40 years in the desert, not real, but it's a 400 years slavery, not real. Osho was fined $400,000, and so was another Aryan Brotherhood dude that came out. He was fined even after he's not a part of it, whatever. And he was saying that everyone's a part of it. Jews are in the Aryan Brotherhood. They don't like in referencing that anyway, which is what someone else referenced, the fact of the swastika and the Star of David on the same coin of the Nazis. Because again, Nazis and Saturn worship are the same. It's all connected because the Jews had lived in Germany. They got kicked out of Portugal and Spain and moved to Germany. That was their base home. Like Israel didn't exist. But because Israel was a planned thing, that's why people started. So anyone who started to realize what was going on, that the elites, that, human sacrifice, child sacrifice is normal. Islam and Judaism and Christianity is all sacrifices, and but everything is. So everywhere is. So even like, the whole thing of the 5-pointed star, like I was showing in the other video, turn upside down, and it's that's what it is for some reason. That's how it is so far. The lost it. The 400 years slavery, 40 years in the desert, the D letter, fourth letter, even even doing the Chinese elements the way it is. So when I was, you just doing the back of the book, doesn't matter. So that's like that. So Kan Li Chen Tu in Chinese, and then it's Kun Ken Sun Chen. So Kun Ken Sun Chen. So the order of where it goes. So it starts with Kan Li Chen Tu Tui. Kan Li Chen Tui. It would be different in other languages, obviously. But Kun Ken Sun Chen. But there's a 4. With the first 4, it's 4. It looks like a 4. Right? And that's why with the it's just the 8 forces. So it's just 8. It's just 8 forces. It's turned to the side, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's the 8 forces. It's exactly the same as that. That's what that is. It's an energy signature, which is from India and Japan and stuff. It's everywhere, and it shows because it's a spiral. It's like a thing. It spirals. So that's part. That's the truth. So yeah, 4 is Mars. 4th planet is Mars. Mars is the Pisces, the rabbit, like I was showing here in the video. Okay, but in the other one, like when there's a list of astrological signs, Mars is given to the dragon. Sorry, it's not even the dragon, it's Aries, which is the dragon, the same sign, because they put it together. They go, Aries is dragon. But then they're saying to us that Aries and dragon have the same planet, which is Mars. But if this is saying this, then it's more likely that this is true, because this is not common knowledge. No one talks about that. You don't hear, because everywhere you go, I have talked to many people. I haven't found one person in all the communities, all of Newtown, all of these places, all of anywhere on the internet. It's very rare. Anyone talks about it. All tarot readers. So there's a that's misinformation, and it all leads down to everyone supporting a narrative. And that's why with David Irving's books, Deborah Lipstadt, that's why I can't agree when someone says 17 million Nazis. The Nazis killed 17 million people because of a simple thing. That's a lie. Why lie? Say something else. Say the truth. The truth is already is good enough. In terms of, you don't want slavery, then don't fucking make up bullshit like that. What's the fucking point? Either you're not looking at it and you're being lazy, or it's something worse than being lazy. So it's a combination maybe. But the 17 is not the number, because it's too coincidental that EL, electricity, election, Israel, is Saturn. And that's even common there. You can look on Google. The god of the Jews is El, Saturn. Jordan Maxwell, look at his stuff. He talks about Saturn worship, right? So now you can see where the scam is, right? So far, it's not coming from me. It's coming from whoever's doing that. So yeah, thank you. EL 5, E5, L 12, plus 5 and 12 together. What's the number? 17. Okay? And that's why when they have the list, it includes 6 million Jews. And the name Nexus 6 in Blade Runner, Nexus calculates to 83. 8 plus 3 is 11. Right? Plus 6 is 17. So it shows you how deeply rooted it is, how deeply this goes. So we have to find another way. It's not about, because everyone's lying on all fronts. Right? Fourth planet, Pisces, Mars. Fourth sign, rat, ox, tiger, rabbi with the T at the end of it, rabbit. Pisces. You see it? Jordan Maxwell saying that the Bible is astrologically planned. It's an astrological thing. 12 disciples of Jesus. Jesus is the 13th. And the woman that's there at one of the apostles, she's the Virgo. She's the woman, Virgo. Virgo is the opposing sign I know what's going on, but I don't know how to explain it any further than that. What you got here, you have the 4 signs on Earth are Virgo, it's the rooster, Virgo rooster, the same. The dog and Libra are the same. That's Earth. The pig and Scorpio are Earth. And the sheep and what's the sheep? Cancer is on the Earth. So all of these 3 signs, the best friend of the rabbit or Pisces is Libra. They're all 3 of those Earths. So the one most suited with connecting with Earth is Mars. So some weird thing about how the ox is on the other side. So that's closer to the sun. That has a different relationship because the best friend of the rat is the ox. What's strange is how it works in terms of, let's go with, oh, wow. Would you look at that? This is literally the first time. Wow, man, my guts, something's happening. See, I'm discovering things as I'm going and repeating. That's why when they say, "Are you repeating yourself?" I'm repeating because it's necessary. It's not wrong to repeat yourself, and it wasn't being aggressive, and I'm not saying bad words like I'm being like people were saying to me. So it's what's the deal here? And I said only everything you can verify that's not made up. You didn't make one thing up. I just revealed everything. Said exactly what Jordan Maxwell said exactly what makes sense. The movie Snake Eyes, I didn't make it up. That's September 7th, September 10th. How is that a scam? How is it a scam? Astrology. I didn't write this book. I said exactly that. That's what it is. If some person who didn't want to look at it doesn't want to search and they're supporting them, you're proving how useless it is to support someone like you, something like you. Can't support that. It's made it strong. Made it stronger for me in the sense it helped. Made it really, really easy to understand. To cleared my doubts in a way. Cleared something. Anyway, not saying it's necessary to have everything gone or to clear my doubts, but it's definitely all gone now. But I was just before I realized. So the ox is the best friend to the rat. Those planets are really close together. The best friend of the rabbit is Earth, is a dog. That's close together, 2 planets. The monkey and the snake are best friends. That's Neptune and Uranus. They're close together. They're literally 2 planets together. The best friend of the horse is the sheep, which is on Earth. That's separated. And the best friend of Saturn is on Earth. That's separated. Further. So between Jupiter and Earth, there's Mars. Between Saturn and Earth, there's Jupiter and Mars, plus the asteroid belt, which could have been a planet. I don't know if that could have been a planet. And that's what's freaky about it, because the 7th sign is Jupiter, which is G. So from coming out from the solar system like an extraterrestrial, right? G, and then the asteroid belt between Jupiter and Mars is like an O. Like Odin, the god Odin is the letter O in Norse mythology. Thursday, the days of the week are the gods of Norse mythology. So it's Thursday, Thursday, Freya Day is Friday, Wednesday is Odin Day. It's a different name. It's yeah. Tuesday is to a day or to the god. Um, but then it's confusing because I reference the god of war with Aries all the time, which is Mars. Which is now I'm thinking, what does that mean? The tiger's best friend is the pig, which is on Earth. So one, and that's all the way to the end. Pluto. Pluto is the tiger. And again, like I said, they took Pluto and said it wasn't a planet, which I don't know what that means. What's the difference? But astrologically, it's here. It's actually in the mix. So I was saying yesterday about we're going to go back onto the thing. 666 is the idea of the devil symbol, but then 6 plus 6 plus 6 is 18, which connects to 18 Alexanders, right? 18 Alexanders. But astrologically, the fact that they say 666 is the devil and it's evil, that's not is it a coincidence that when you look up every single sign and its opposing sign, it's 6 apart within the 12? You can count 6 and you'll find in the one direction or another, you find the opposing sign of the sign to be against. So to give you an example, I'll give you basically, I'll tell you. So I'll show you. The rat, the opposing sign of the rat is the horse. So rat is first. Rat's first. 1, 2, so 2, 3, 4. Rat, ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake. So take off that. You're jumping. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Horse. 4, 5, 6. 6. Yeah. 6. One or the other. 6. 4 plus 2 is 6. Right? Jump to the sixth one. 6 apart. It's that one. The opposing sign of the ox is the sheep. It's just one after it's one after the horse and then the sheep. So ox, tiger. So we can just go tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, horse, sheep. Tiger, opposing sign of the tiger. So the next sign over is rabbit, dragon, snake, horse, sheep, Monkey. 6. So every sign has an opposing sign. There's 3. You have an affinity sign like the dragon, rat, and monkey. So 666, the opposing sign of the. So these 3 signs, the opposing signs of these 3 yang signs. The dragon is the dog. So the dragon's the 5th sign. 5, dragon, snake, horse, sheep, monkey, rooster, dog. The rat, I just showed you, horse, and the monkey, I just showed you the tiger, is 9. Monkey, you can go forward in time, even if you just go ahead. You go ahead, monkey, rooster, dog, pig, rat, ox, tiger. See that? That's further proof what Jordan Maxwell was talking about, how it's astrologically planned. Except if you don't have the right planets placements, you won't realize what he's talking about. He says Saturn worship. Saturn worship. You can say the dragon. It's dragon. Okay. So continuing on this. Excuse me. Then there's the account. There's the account in the movie. There's a part where she says, "Oh, we don't know where this $140,000 have gone." So he goes, "What are you talking about?" You bring it up and it's highlighted. 2 accounts are highlighted, right? I calculated the account numbers 100137966 equals to 33. Then the account below 10110137885 equals to 33. That all equals, when you calculate 3333 together, is 12. Right? But we're going to go, yeah, it's 12, right? That calculates 12, but it's the date is the 12th of the 12th/9 on the top account, and then 12/11. So you've got 9/11 in that little area. So they're showing you 9/11 again. Then his Reynolds' date of birth is, like I said, 9/11. And 1940 is a dragon year, Saturn. Do you understand? Then, coincidentally, when they bring up the number 14, $70,000 broken into 2 accounts, 714, you got 1400, and then you have from 5, the first numbers to calculate in the beginning, count 5, then it's 13, 13, 13, 13, 19, then 11, then 13, 13, 13, 16, then back to 11. So I'm sort of just, for 1 second, just calculating 9 plus 1 plus 1 is 12. 6 plus 1 is 7, 8, 9. Fuck. Holy shit. Look at that. I just fucking realized what they're doing. It's even reversed. I got to go back to the COVID title. So to calculate 9, 10, 11, 12. It's fucked up. So just quickly calculating the 16. So 1 plus 6 plus 1 plus 1, because then it goes back to, what goes to 14, I think, after that. Yeah, it goes from 11, 6, 11, and 14. Definitely there's no coincidence there as a strange fact of the first 5 numbers, the fact that there's 5, and then from the 5th, at the 5th, after 13 becomes 19. So that's COVID-19, or 519 even there. Then it starts with 11. And then you have just split that in half. If you don't know any of the numbers and all that stuff, like I said, I'm going to describe the other things to you, then you won't be able to understand it. But basically, before COVID-19, if you didn't have and there was actual titles, the fact of COVID, I think it was coronavirus. Just thinking about the 16 plus 11 plus 14, 30, that's 64. Yeah. $41. But anyway, okay, so then there's clearly some pattern here, especially with the 5 there and the 19. Why is 11 there, and then why is 16, 11, and 14? And then it goes to 7. 1, 600, it goes to 7 again. And then the next one after that is 17. And to mention where the 322 is in this movie, the watch, when they're in the room, Gene Hackman and Will Smith, they're in the room before he plays the police officer and gets the information out of them. He goes, it's a cheap watch, 12, 13 bucks. The timer is 3:22, and it goes from 3:22, 32 seconds. And he rubs it and it gets 33. And he goes, say we're going to be at Iowa 3 at 3 o'clock. So 33, and then 33 seconds, and then 3:22, which is the number of Skull and Bones, which I referenced to another movie with as good as it gets. When I said before, the number, look at the number 322. But the other number, the other movie was a third movie, National Treasure, which the 19 is on the license plate, the getaway car when Nicolas Cage steals the thing, and the other team that doesn't like him wants to get it. He gave them the fake map, the fake Declaration of Independence, and they save the girl from the van, or she jumps from the van, and they get her. Later on, when he decodes the tower, he looks at the $100 bill, and he decodes the tower, right? They go to that tower in that town. On the clock, it's 2:22. And then they say, oh, that's before daylight saving, so it becomes 3:22. So to give it away to you to say that, besides for the other numbers, which I don't think I'll get in this video, because I don't want to make this video too long. It's already almost 3 hours long, and I may have to edit it. But for people who really want to get the full energy and benefit of this, you can stay the whole time, but I'll yeah. And at the end, another giveaway. So Baltimore Police Department, 1600 is 7, right? And then 14. Baltimore Police Department. What's that? I didn't write that one down, what it said there. So the next number was 7, then 17, 1646, and then back to 7. But in the place where the shootout happens, right, and everyone gets shot, when they go and they tricks him and says, "Oh, give him the tape," and he goes, "You're not getting the tape," and then the shootout happens. After everyone's shot, and they think how many bodies there are, he goes, "We got 13 bodies here." So after all that, referencing the beginning of the film where the lady's got a number, she's the news reporter on the dock when they're trying to take the body, the congressman's body out of the river where the videotape is made. 13 is on her thing, on her microphone, and she's the one that's talking. At the end, they got 13 bodies. And then I just said how many times there was more 13s that calculated. One out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 timers. Making sure there isn't any more. And then I hope that's not adding into the numbers of like That's just the numbers. We just went over the numbers of the calculator. We're not talking about the other numbers in the movie where he's on level 20, goes down to level 19, 18, and gets off at 17. So that reminds me of in the beginning when we start on the game where the kids are playing, it starts at 17 seconds, 18 seconds, 19 seconds, and then cuts out. It's like when he goes from level 20 to 19, 20, 19, 18, 17, and then it gets off. So besides for that, there's other things like the helicopter number, the you just look at movies. With any movie you look at how they calculate things and the timing of it. But definitely all the things, the basic ones here, like the 911, the count number, the 33s, they put 33, like I said, everywhere, that number there. They're the most obvious ones you can look up because they don't hide the number, the order of 322, which 3 plus 2 plus 2 is 7 anyway. So and just here seeing the fact that the first time they put 7, and I wrote down that the clock is there, 3:22 on the clock, and knowing that it's order 322 of the Skull and Bones, the next number is 7 after that. So what is that? What do you call that? And then it goes to 17, which is L. EL represents EL. Deborah Lipstick, like the movie The Denial, 2016 film, which I haven't watched, but again, it's going to be not a whole truthful thing. It's going to tell everything that happened, but you're going to have to listen to enjoy him talk about the things. David Irving, his side. They said she said she found 19 mistakes. And also I'm finding that even it's as deep as it goes, pretty deep, with Sammy the Bull and Richard Kuklinski and how he's had killed 19 people. Even Chopper Reed had said that he killed 19 people in his life, and he said it wasn't true, and he killed 4. Which I'm wondering where the 19 comes from. If he was given the 19, if someone gave him a number somewhere and he's singing it says, yeah, sure, I killed 19 people. I'm just getting my idea that's what. Why would you say 19? If you were a part of 19 murders and it connected up to be 19 murders, then how many people did you kill? Like directly? How many did you stab and shoot directly? But again, I think it's fed. It's a fed to the numbers given to them, because it's too coincidental. Deborah Litzek says, 19 hijackers, 19 years from 2001, and the Jews have 19-year cycles, so the calendar is 19 years. You can't. But you can do a simple thing. Don't look. That's all it is. That's all you do. So what's the, but then you can't really not look. Because like I said, I'm going to give you a list before I go, actually, because I want to finish up soon. I'm going to give you just a list of 50 movies now. A quick list. I have to find it. 1 second. That was a brief overview of Enemy of the State. the main big ones. And connecting the dots of that. Next time I'll go into Good Will Hunting. That's a good one. And I've got a few other movies. I've still got to go over the movie that I mentioned before with Michael Keating. I'm going to mention that, but just before, I'm going to give you a list of them so you can look up and find the 19s and look at them in order. I think it's here. It's not this book. Yeah, it's not this one. This is a new. That's the new one. Is it this one? I'll go into Blade Runner as well because that's got a made. This is the one here. I'll go through this book. This is the one, and then I'll go through Blade Runner. Some things to look at through there. That's undeniable. Strong ones there. I'll go through Blade Runner, 12 Monkeys. I don't think it's in this book. Oh, this one. I gotta go through that. I gotta go through that movie, which is No Way Out. Gene Hackman and the woman from Blade Runner. It's 1987 film. And Kevin Costner. Oh, I gotta go through Jack Reacher. So many movies. That took 2 hours to explain Jack Reacher. The how many things in Jack Reacher connecting. So I'm gonna say, oh, that's difficult. Score to Settle, 19 years. He says 19 years. Shawshank Redemption, 19 years jail. The other guy is 40 years jail. Again, 40. Remember 40. Meet Joe Black. Article 19 of the corporate charter gets him fired. He mentions when in the beginning, the 40. Also, the 40 is also in at the beginning of Hollow Man 2 when I was explaining the four numbers on the house that they go to after the invisible dude Christian Slater's character wants to go to the house. It's the 2727, or it calculates the numbers of a house, calculates 19, and then from there it goes towards the end of the movie where we see the 19. She kills him with the 19, C19 chemical, whatever. But before then, the woman who gets the two police officers that go to that house before, when they go to the murder scene in the bathroom, she says, "Oh, you're thinking, you're in deep thought." And it's like, "Yeah, I'm thinking really deep." And she's like, "Oh, 40 winks deep." So she mentions 40 there. 40 is a specific number, like they said. Like they put the 40 there. And before I forget, 40 years as well. 40 years from the year 2000. Dragon year is the year 2000. 20 years later is rat year. So 5, COVID, dragon year. And then 20 years later is 2020, rat year. And then 20 years later is 2040. 40. So 40 years is COVID-19, literally like C19, 2020, you know. 20 years, and 20 years is a very specific number as well to gaps in the religious Jewish thing. "20 years old," they say a lot for people who are 20 years old. Is some sort of mindset or something. 20 years old. RoboCop, 2019. 2019. It's 2014 film. He mentions 19 in that movie. Jack Reacher, the 19's on the phone. First off, the 5 is in the. It's a lot harder to explain with the 5. So 519, it connects. I'll do that in another video because I got to look for the book where it actually has all those things. But this is just a brief overview. Wesley Snipes film. I forgot the freaking name of that movie. There's a movie where the 19s they're searching on the level. There's a black security guard, black woman, the security guard. She starts on level 19 and she gets murdered on level 20 by the gang that comes from level 29. Level 27. So they come from 27, and that's why, and they come down to see her, and she goes to level 20. So I kept thinking 7, 8, 9 to 19, and then you go 1 plus 9 plus 2 plus 7 is 19 put together. Snake Eyes, this is not the list. This is not the list. I have a list of literally 40 in a line. Got Training Day. But it's still off the top of my head. Training Day. I said the 19 is in there. He's a cop for 19 months. And then you go into the jungle. There's a guy on a bike driving by the left side of Denzel Washington. He's got a 19 on his shirt. And the 5 is at the end of the movie. There's a guy with a number 5 on his shirt behind Denzel Washington when Ethan Hawke's got the gun on him. Behind him is a guy with a number 5 on him. Then you've got Born on 4th of July, like I said, is the 19 on the helicopter when Ron gets shot down. 19 on the helicopter, blows up. Ren gets shot, taken down. And a helicopter with 19 on it gets shot down. Cape Fear, Romans 19 plus 12 in Roman numerals, which connects to the 12th sign. Pig year 2019 is a pig year. And you got to look up the reference to what I'm saying, because you're looking at yourself. And we're talking about Scorpio because you'll get confused. You go, the Scorpio sign is not 12, it's the whatever it is they say, from the Aries being number 1. The pig will be somewhere in the 4 before Pisces, or 4 or 8 before Pisces. 8 before Pisces. So Scorpio. We're talking about the pig year. Is the 12th sign. Is the 12th. It's literally number 12 before the rat again, number 1. And that's 2020 is the rat year. It starts again. Right? The movie Knowing, when he meets up with the woman for the first time in the movie, he freaks out and grabs her and says October 19th. These many people are going to die, and then he mentions 33 people are going to die after that. So that's where the 19 is placed there. I gave this. I just have to go through my Facebook. Alright, it's taking too much time. I think it's in my room. Before I say the rest of them, may do the list tomorrow. It's too long. The Fifth Element movie, if you look at the 19 is in the room that she gets made in, right? So before they get to the room, the hands go into the room. You see an 18 first. Again, 18, 8 plus 1 plus 1 plus 9 is 19. But you see an 18 first in the reflection or behind it on the wall as the hand goes into the corridor. Then they go and turn into a room, do the gassing and the cleaning, and he's got the 19 above him. All right? And Corbin Dallas's apartment number calculates to 19. Those numbers that are there, watch them, read them, they all calculate to 19. So they have numbers in the films that either calculate to 19, 4 of them that calculate to 19. And that relates to what I was saying when they have 13, 13. At 5, 13, 13, 13. 13 reminds me of the same kind of thing. There's always 4 numbers. And it happens to be the same with the movie Heist that I was telling you about, 2001, which we'll go into that later, the deeper stuff. That the truck, when he realizes, Sam Rockwell's character realizes that that's not the gold that was given to them in the truck, because they crash, because they crash. There's a truck that stops for her, and she opens the door. The numbers on the door, there's 4 numbers. The first numbers calculate to 19. The second numbers calculate to 18, I think. And then those numbers together calculate to 19. So then I knew that. I'll talk about that the next time. And then straight after that, they're melting the gold. And then one of the gold bars get put into the melter upside down. So I had to figure that out, because I was like, I missed it the last time because I didn't look hard enough. I thought the 19 would be more obvious, but the 19 was a bit harder to find because it was on the number. It was on the numbers on the actual bar. The number, it's upside down, because then I had to look at the gold bars numbers. It's all of them are in one direction. So it was like you understand what you see yourself. And it's upside down. The last 2 numbers so it's 09 and then 19. And then you put those together, and then the other 2, I've got to look for the numbers. I'll look them up again. They put the 19 there. Equalizer, I told you about the equalizer. 28 minus 9, 19, 19, he says it twice. Collateral, after the shooting in the alley, there's the petrol station has a $3.19. The 19 is really big. And then all the numbers outside the big 19 equal to 19. So if you take out all the 19s, and then it says 19, that's where one of the 19s are there. Swordfish, when he's getting a blowjob in the first thing, when he's getting forced to have a blowjob, and he's like counts down. And you hear that when he says 19, he claps his hand. He's like, you got 45 seconds, and he doesn't say anything, and he goes 20, 19, and then he goes like 2019, literally like 2019, or just 20 and then 19. 20, 19, like, like, why would you fucking have coincidence? But that's not the only 19. The other 19 is when they break up the accounts, the $9.5 million into different accounts. It's 1.9, 1.9. So 19, 19, 19, 19, 19, 19. Why would you do that? Yeah, the 19 in Good Will Hunting is on the board, the first problem. You can see that I'll explain it to you. I've got the diagrams later. But then there's also the 1972, the big, having the meeting, 1972, 1 plus 9 plus 7 plus 2 equals 19. But the other 19, I don't think I have found a 19 clearly, as in like a 919, but you'll see that the formula says A first, seek the problem A, to I to J, which I is 9, and then J is 10 plus 10 AI. So either A and I, and then I to J. So A is 1, I is 9, 19. 9i plus j, which is 19. And then it goes even further than that. I'm not going to go. The D Hunter, I mentioned the D Hunter. With it's just so many things. I'm a bit scattered right now because it was so detailed because as I was finding them, I was doing videos. So I did a video very clear. Now I'm just that was a month ago. Oh, I found the that movie I was talking about with Michael Keating. So quickly, there's a 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 is all blurry in that area. And 16 is mainly blurred. 17 is clear. 18 has a code. 19, it says new op. New operation in that little coded thing. 20, it goes F87 go. T T T T T T. It says T T T T in that line. T and N, T and N, T and N. But 21, it has all these different other numbers. 22, but 23, it says all access user 1. Which reminds me of October 7th. And then also, I just thought about October 7th. You know how deep this is? 17 is 10 plus 7. October is the 10th month, the 7th day. EL. Yep. Amazing. So this is here. I forgot about it. I think I'm going through like a thing because I've got so much information. I've got so much evidence that, well, I just forget. I don't think about it anymore. Once I've got all this information, once I've written it down, I'm going through like a emotional thing. This is the movie National Treasure. I was right. So 222. Before daylight savings, after daylight savings, 322. Symbol of information left corner of the brick. Cornerstone. Look up read Jordan Maxwell's stuff again. He's one I've listened to a lot of and got a lot of stuff on it. You're gonna have to break through like an energy field of like something trying to stop you, and but just go through it. I cannot. All right, I'm gonna leave it here. I'll come back and I'll find the list. Bandits. The 19 is like after the. I have a B up my ass about you two. The first thing he says when they come back, the first time that Bruce Willis's character and Kate Blanchett's character go off together for the first time, they come back after the song "Twist in My Sobriety" is played. They come back. He's wearing the other stunt guy's wearing a blue suit. Deja vu, having a big, huge deja vu right now. He's wearing a blue suit with snake boots. And to me, that references Israel's year of establishment, because before you roll your eyes and go, oh my God, that's how it works. This is how this shit works. Everything that you complain about against what I'm saying, against these findings, is part of the setup. That's how deep this is. As soon as you go, you got to go through a time limit of, someone's gonna say, this is bullshit. Okay, you're making it up. That's what it's. They even put it in the movie. The movie Knowing, it says, Kabbalah, all these different organizations, they find meaning in numbers. Why are they a dime a dozen? 12? Because people see what they want to see. So it's like reverse psychology. It's like we watch a movie and then we live it out. So it's like we ignore it and go, no, there's nothing in it. But the rat is blue element. It's a water element. And the snake boots. Israel is established in 1948. It's a rat year and a snake month, May. But that's the thing that they're doing. That's a signature thing. I'm not telling you you got to look it up yourself. But the 19 is there because they got room 2019 and it is literally together. It's twin room 20 and 19. But he says 19. That's their room. I got a B up my ass about you two. And then I think about he has a B up his ass. He didn't say a B as in I have a B. I have a literal B, like BEE. So that's 2, 5, 5. That's 12. So it's like 12. The 12th. Script, scribes, Moses, 2 tablets. It's actually 2 testicles. Testify, testimony, court, game, racket, bar, bank, river, currency. That's how it is. That's basic. So it brings us back to the whole development of acting. Why acting? Why anyone can just act like, I'm like, acting. Lying. Acting is lying. Even Pierce Brosnan just said it in one of the video I just saw. He's like, "Oh, I'm not lying. I only lie for a living." And Johnny Depp says, "I lie for a living." And someone else said, "They lie." Like Marlon Brando is saying that everyone lies. Everyone's acting. I'm gonna leave it there. Thanks for listening, and hopefully you see this moment in my dreams. Yeah, I'm leaving it there. Thank you. I'll be back soon.